Großartig. Schön, dass er hier ist. Mados Razma. Mados Razma tritt an gegen eine ehemalige Nummer 1 der BDO. Er ist seit 2015 bei der PDC, ist die Nummer 34 der Welt aktuell, hat im letzten Jahr ein gutes Jahr gespielt und in diesem Jahr so ein bisschen gebraucht, um die ersten Erfolge einzuholen. Jetzt stand er in dieser Woche in seinem ersten Pro-Tour-Finale in 2017. Die Rede ist vom Jammy Dodger James Wilson.
Wins so far today for Keegan Brown, Zoran Lurchbacher and the machine gun Jermaine Watermaner at the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy. 100 average for Lurchbacher. Keegan Brown not that far off himself, close to 99. We've currently got the 5-time Latvian national champion Mados Razma, a man who'd done nothing in the PDC this year until that weekend just before the Grand Prix, where out of nowhere he just went on a run to the semi-finals. And maybe that's just the sign that Mados Razma, a man who has had quite a lot of success in the BDO and is still plying his trade on the Scandinavian circuit, maybe he's just finding his feet in the full tour. James Wilson certainly took a bit of time after moving over from the BDO to find his feet. And he did so, solidifying that with a run to the quarterfinals of last year's European Championship. It is the Jammy Dodger, the lethal biscuit against Razma Taz in the fourth game of the afternoon session. Rob Malarkey joins me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for it.
Yes, and there's been something very, very special about these Nordic and Baltic qualifiers over the course of this European Tour campaign. You think of the likes of Dennis Nielsen last time out, the likes of Daniel Larsson, you know. They have been putting together some very, very good results.
Kimble Yarnan.
Flag is Mados to throw
big
first.
win as well against Christo Reyes. Will this man emulate all of them by pulling off, despite that achievement of a first Pro Tour semi-final recently,
44.
what would be a bit of a surprise here? James Wilson also, well, he's the happiest man in the world anyway, but right now he's in pretty good spirits too, because he came very close to claiming his maiden PDC title on Wednesday at the Players' Championship event in Barnsley, only to lose out to the Ferret in the final.
Yeah, played very well. He has played very well recently, James Wilson. We saw him go on a run to the semi-finals in that same weekend that Mados made the semi-final. It was the following day that Wilson went to the semis and then went one better, making his second PDC final.
20.
He is a BDO major title winner, of course, won the World Trophy, won in Zuiderdown. Mados has won 4 BDO ranked events. Like
140.
Scottish Classic 2015, beat Hankey in the final. Ted Hankey. Say his name 3 times at midnight and into a mirror. He'll appear behind you, throw a 180, and then show you his chest. Dare you do
98.
It is Friday the 13th.
It is. Stranger things have happened now. Making his European Tour debut, Razma,
60.
29 years old. Entered Q School this year. Made the quarterfinals on day 2. And that was enough to help him finish 12th on the Order of Merit, so he earned the final tour card on offer.
94.
And of course, the first Latvian
How does he require
ever to hold
160?
That will always be with him.
Okay.
That will never be taken away.
No, it won't. This leg might be taken away from him, though.
60.
Because that leaves
Change
him 100,
require
which is a 2-dart
160.
checkout. But Wilson, 2 trebles for double top. Yes. Not to beat.
100. How does he require 100?
No guarantee he gets a dart at the double here, though. Tops, it has to be. No other option.
Oh. 62. Change require 60.
Well, that would have been some way to announce yourself on the European Tour stage. As it is, Wilson's looking at a break here. 2 goes at tops for it as well.
Game shot on the first leg.
James Wilson is off the mark.
Second leg is James to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, break a throw against the Euro Tour debutant, and the Jammy Dodger goes into the lead. Not met each other before. I thought they might have clashed in their BDO days.
Yeah.
But not the case.
I was mildly surprised by that.
140.
Mentioned that run to the final in Barnsley on Wednesday. That's coming hot on the heels of a run to the semis in Dublin, where he lost to Menzel.
135.
So it's all pointing to a timely return to form, similar to the one he had towards the end of 2016 for James Wilson. Very productive time of it at the end of last year, and he's doing likewise here after just going off the boil
40.
ever so slightly. Didn't qualify for the German Darts Grand Prix, didn't qualify for Riesa. First round exit in Maastricht, didn't qualify for the European Darts Open either. Didn't do a lot on the Pro Tour in the midst of all that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first sort of 5 months of the year, which is how long it took him to qualify for one of the European Tour events, James Wilson. He'd only picked up on about $5,000 in prize money. A lot of early exits.
60.
Only just snuck through to the UK Open by the very skin of his teeth. And that's not really what we'd come to expect from a man who played so well at the back end of last year, as Razma provides the first maximum. Leaves him a 2-darter for a potential 11-dart leg. Mind you, Wilson could be breathing down his neck here.
100. That as you require.
Not so much.
86.
Quick look at Wilson's score. He is on a finish. You would think that Razma would go for this. Oh, has he hit the double?
Yes,
he has.
54. James, you
see a lot of players will aim
61.
high and wide on that 18. Single 18 leaves the ball, but if you do manage to sneak the double in, you get a go at double 16. There is a lot of sense in that route. He's going to come back looking at double 16 with Wilson unable to take out the 161.
135. That as you require. 32.
Left himself double 13 for Jammy Dodger. Oh, now he's covering a section of that bed. But not that bit.
Second leg. Madas Razma.
Instant break back for
Third leg is
Razma.
Madas to throw first. Game on.
Beat some very, very good players in that run. In Dublin, beating Doby, Terry Temple, Keegan Brown, who we've just seen win here today, Ronnie Hybrex
82.
and Gerwyn Price. Stephen Bunting ending his run, winning 6-3.
Yeah, I didn't see much of Madas that day, but I do know people who were there and going around the City West Hotel watching some of his games, and the reports
85.
back, as you'd expect, indicated he was playing some fantastic stuff. But it doesn't just happen straight away for
59.
players when they move to the PDC. Not always. It does take them time. James Wilson has said himself that he was not ready. For a man who has "so ready" written on the sleeve of his shirt, he was not ready for life as a
92.
PDC pro. Couldn't hack it in the early stages. He had to knuckle down and prepare himself mentally for
59.
having people throw serious, 10+ averages at you from round one. He just wasn't used to it. Doesn't always happen, of course, but it can happen. And if you're not ready, you're going home.
100.
Given your time in Dublin and Barnsley, how many days at home have you had in the last 3 weeks?
About 1 in the last fortnight. It's all right. It's a rubbish home anyway.
It's relentless.
180.
Nothing rubbish about that. Razma just finding a bit of rhythm here now. 1-2, 1 away.
$57. That as you require. 121.
Well, to go into the lead, Madas Razma, that's 1 off. And just wants to make sure this is very high.
81.
Very much
Safe
like
to
that.
lose.
167.
But for the biggest checkout of the weekend so far, James Wilson looking at 167.
100.
Well,
How does you
again,
require 40?
Wilson has decided to try and pile into the treble 20, which would have left a strange finish.
Game
And
shot
again, it
the
doesn't really matter because Razma takes that out.
James to throw
Does
first.
go into the lead for the
Game on.
first time, the 5-time Latvian national champion.
Worth noting here as well that Wilson was a quarter-finalist in the European Championship last year, but with £9,000 on the European Order of Merit
128.
right now. Okay, he's guaranteed 1,000 there. He's on the brink of qualifying, but he needs to do something here in this one first and foremost.
140.
It's by no means certain that Wilson will be going through.
Yeah, there are a number of players all in that little sort of section
140.
challenging for a spot in Hasselt, and a number of them are here. Aspinall, James Richardson, Chris Quantock, Jan Decker, James Wilson.
And this is one of the matches that Darren Webster will be keeping an eye on as well,
Yeah.
because he's just above the dotted line at the moment on £11,000, so he needs a few of those to slip up.
Well, I mean, they're all within $2,000 of each other. You go another grand down. You've not only got Johnny Clayton, who beat
40.
James Wilson 2 days ago in the final to claim his first PDC title, but you've also got the multiple major champion James Wade.
43.
Wadey in very real danger of not making it to the
he's-
European Championship.
He's on 8,000, isn't he? So that's a potential story in the making as well this weekend.
Well, we're seeing James Wade take on Nathan Aspinall tonight, so only one of them can come through that one.
137.
So an absolutely enormous game for those two men. And you'd have to say, when you look at the form, Aspinall might well be the one you'd back. I mean, it's a dangerous one to back against James Wade. He's a phenomenal player.
James, you require
Which way is
56.
this leg going, though? Razma on 90. Wilson should get 2 darts. He does get 2 darts, double top.
Took it out before with his first start. Not this time.
16.
And Razma
does
is
you require
back in
90?
once again here.
I thought he might go 20 for double 18 there, James Wilson. He does love that double 18. Razma should start on the 20s, and does. Oh, what a dart that is.
80.
Got a dart at double
James
5
require
rather than the
40.
bullseye, but did not take advantage.
Game shot on the 4th leg. James Wilson.
The other thing about
like
Wilson
it's
as
Manus
well
to throw
is that
first.
he's not got a great deal
Game
on the
on.
countback either. He'll have £2,000 on the countback, which won't be as much as, say, Decker or Chris Quantock either. So
26.
that's the other thing that's counting him against him right now.
Yeah, well, the way to deal with it.
Win your
Just go and
matches.
keep on winning games. The winner of this one will take on Chizzy, Dave Chisnall. No easy task.
100.
Let's see the first host nation qualifier in action. Next up, Manfred Bilderl, the German, up against Johnny Clayton, whom we've already mentioned, the man who claimed his first PDC title 2 days ago,
57.
beating James Wilson in the final. Jamie Caven, who went on an improbable run that got himself into the Players' Championship finals just the other day, takes on Jordi May-Wissa. Steve West, Simply the West, against Chris Quantock, another player fighting out for a spot at the
31.
European Championship. And Martin Schindler, who is desperate to make it to Ali Pali for the first time in his career. He's up against the Bulldog John Bowles. Every single game, pretty much, we're going to see today, there is stuff riding on it, whether it's
60.
European Championship qualification, whether it's keeping hold of your tour card, whether it's making it to Ali Pali. Loads and loads of storylines all over the place. Fascinating day of darts.
No dead rubbers here, unlike in World Cup qualifying.
92.
Everybody looking after their own interest this weekend.
$60.
Well, it's a slightly sluggish leg, this one. Was it Christian Kist who qualified for the last European Tour by
96.
winning 1 match? Was that when? Do you remember you
It
made
was,
the points?
yes.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, it
Razma
was.
had to win 5 matches to get through his qualifying campaign. Ulsada was one of them.
Well, and we know these Scandinavian qualifiers are tough. The Nordic and Baltic ones.
140. Manager require
The organisers refer to them as
156.
mini lakesides, just to get here.
Yeah, and Daniel Larsson was another of his victims as well in the third round.
$96.
Yeah, James Wilson
required
battered his way
84.
through qualifying, beat Kirk Shepherd and Richie Burnett, only lost 2 legs in those 2 games. Can he go 3-2 up here? Double 12 says he can.
Game shot on the 5th leg. James Wilson. 6th leg is James to throw first. Game on.
And there's a break, second break for Wilson. Two breaks to one effectively now, and fairly consistent stuff.
100.
Yeah, it's not electrifying, but it's solid.
$134.
You see 89 plays 88. Not much in the first 9 either. No wonder it's 3-2. And James Wilson,
45.
you look at the world's qualification, and I mean, he's there or thereabouts, just outside the top 32 in the world anyway. So making the European Championship is a huge,
81.
huge thing for James Wilson.
$96.
You just feel here, if one player can just take the game by the scruff of its neck and just establish a bit of rhythm and just get some good scoring going, it's there for the taking, but neither able to do so far. Wilson has the break, but it's not totally
125.
comfortable here for Wilson, although that is more like it from him. But there is a chance here for Razma to steal the darts and get his nose in front and get back on terms. And there's a ton of 40 for him as well, so
Change required 95.
this one bubbling up nicely.
Options here, ball or 19s. Ah! Or single 9. I'm
63. Manager require 86.
For the second time in this match, you see somebody go double 18 to leave double 16. Oh, very nearly the third time. Bullseye.
61. Change require 32.
Well, for a bit of daylight in this one, to open up a 2-leg gap for the first time in this match, James Wilson. Double 8.
Game shot on the
very
6th leg.
well done.
James
Last
Wilson.
start did it
7 leg is
4-2 to
Madders
the
to throw
Yorkshireman.
first. Game on.
Yeah, just another illustration of the fine lines here. Razma's not been blown away in the legs that he's lost, but Wilson has just about done enough, and once again that's the case. But look at this from Razma. Great response.
180.
First two were virtually on top of each other. The third one had plenty of room either side.
$85.
And of course, this weekend, Dan, the
94.
last chance for the 9-darter on the European Tour.
Well, I
Are
mean,
we even going to bother talking about
you
this?
describe it as if there is a chance of it happening, which would be nonsensical.
You know me. I'm the biggest prophet of doom as far as
140.
the European Tour 9-darter is concerned. I'm just throwing it out there as a crumb of comfort to some people who are desperate to see a European Tour 9-darter.
Well, I believe the wait will go on
Until
until
2026.
we're
at
all
least.
incinerated in nuclear winter.
Well, hopefully that won't be until after the World Championship.
60.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Manager require 127.
We live in troubling times.
Lots to look forward to on the darts world.
Mados Razma looking to ease our troubles with a 127.
Ooh.
Oh, he went
102.
for it without needing to. That would have been a bit of razzmatazz.
60. Matters you require 25.
Oh, the Robert Thornton 17 for double four.
Shot on the 7th leg.
Uses it very
Matters
well.
Razma.
14 data
8th leg
for
is James to throw
Matters
first.
Razma.
Game on. $140.
Well, Razma started the last leg with a ton 80. Could do with it here as well, just to give himself a chance to break back in this particular leg. But already it looks as though Wilson has
91.
just stolen a slight march on his opponent.
$96. $99.
Starting on the 19s here, I would assume. Maybe not.
Oh, yeah, we've seen it done. 519s leads you on 170, etc. Switches to the 19s anyway.
134.
Switches to good effects.
Yes, well...
But had he gone for the 19s first time around?
Well, the thing is, I mean, if it's a single 19 there, he's not going to finish. But to be fair, Matters needed to fill it up. But the thing is, you can lose legs.
On such decisions?
Yeah.
$95.
Well, this time, Wilson does decide to leave double 18 rather than leaving double top. He had his choice. And he does like double 18, does the jammy dodger.
59.
Like it
Danger
even
Noir,
more
36.
if it puts him 5-3 up here.
Game shot on the 8th leg.
I think we're seeing
James
all these
Wilson.
double 18s today.
9th leg is Matters
the
to throw
proliferation
first.
of them.
Game
Ever
on.
since Paul Nicholson mentioned John Lowe's 9 data. Since that was broadcast, I think the players have seized upon this and decided to go for double 8 as some sort of homage to John Lowe.
58.
Well, just a look of resignation on the face of Razma there as he went to retrieve his darts. 58 scored. Wilson looking to pounce all over this. Ton 40 would do him the world of good.
100.
Just a ton.
Well, if this is the last game we get to see played by one of the Nordic and Baltic qualifiers this year on the European Tour,
137.
then, quite frankly, I think we can probably categorise the whole thing as a success, because all the players you mentioned, Viljanen, Ulf Seeder,
140.
Nielsen. Larsen.
Like, yeah, I mean, we've seen some fantastic stuff from them.
Magnus Carris as well.
Magnus Carris, of course, he had that run in Gibraltar, didn't he?
98.
I think you would have to say it has been an unqualified success, because these guys have more than held their own on the Euro Tour this year, and they've added something to it.
Definitely.
100.
And it probably speaks volumes for the strength in depth, or at least amongst that elite group of players they've got in Scandinavia.
99.
But it's not the same person coming through all the time. Had it been the same person coming through all the time, we'd probably be seeing one of them at the European Championship. Wilson's not going to finish it off right now. We'll go back up to the 20s here.
But that continued
61.
format and that continued level of competition, I think will... Well, the argument is it will develop an elite of, say, 4 or 5 players who can then sort of regularly get involved in this sort of thing.
77.
But Matters Razma may not be involved in this particular tournament for much longer, because missing double 16 allows James Wilson a pop at 100 to close this out 6-3. And it's got to be tops to tops.
40.
Oh, biscuit.
32.
Well, we talked about the fine lines and the decision-making. Will that one come back to haunt James Wilson?
Game shot on the 9th leg. Matters
May
Razma.
well do, you know.
10th leg is James to throw first. Game on.
Well, he has the throw here. This is the leg. As far as James Wilson's concerned,
140.
he does very well there. And James Wilson, a man who in his PDC career has been plagued by bounce-outs and weird deflections. We've seen it a few times in this match where I've been concerned we might see one, and it's not happened. And that was one of those cases there where he's fired in a dart into a cluster of his own arrows, and he's not had any weird deflections or bounce-outs, and that's got to be a good sign.
41.
That's not a good sign for the jammy dodger, though.
Can I just point out as well, only just been brought to my attention, Razma, shiniest shoes on the European Tour this year.
180.
Shiniest darts as well.
Not too shabby darts either, Matters Razma with a 180.
Pressure on James Wilson here, just a bit of it.
92.
Just about stolen the darts here, Razma.
Has to follow that third 180 up with something.
60.
Not enough. Wilson should be first to a finish. What kind of a finish? Not a bad one. It's a two-darter. A man from Huddersfield, 88 points away from a 6-4 win and a place in the second round to face Chizzy.
$65.
Latvian fires in a ton 80, but only follows it with a 60 and a 65. Not enough. Double 18 again? Oh, no.
80.
Well, he got the dart at the double,
require 136.
having declined 18 for bullseye. He got the treble, so look, there's no harm done. But a match dart missed. The 136 is not going, so he's going to get more match darts. James Wilson playing with fire
58.
a little bit there. He's come out unburnt so far.
But this has to go, otherwise Razma may well pounce to force a decider. James Wilson looking at double 4 for a place in round 2 here in Göttingen. 2 darts in hand.
Game shot.
And that is all he needs. James Wilson breathes a bit of a sigh of relief there. I think he acknowledges he was made to work slightly harder than he would have liked, and it could have been a very anxious finale for him, but he comes through, as Dan says, with his fingers very much intact, unburnt, and he, sure enough, advances to the second round to set up a meeting with Chizzy tomorrow here at the Lokale. We'll get Wilson's assessment of all that in just a moment or two, as Wilson acknowledges the achievement of his opponent, Matthias Razma. I hope we see more of him next year on the European Tour. He's got something about him, and he's clearly a player moving in the right direction. Johnny Clayton, the Ferret, and Manfred Bildel on the way next.
Very hard work. It's been terrible. That was shocking. But I've had it on my mind that, you know, I had to win this game to try and qualify, you know, for the European finals, and it's been a long week, especially at Barnes, and then coming over, and I just didn't get going. But thankfully, I won.
Yeah, and I'm sure you came here with a lot of confidence after reaching the final.
Yeah, massive confidence, but up there, it didn't seem like it. I don't know what went wrong, but I think I was a bit tight, you know, a bit stiff, and hoping to get through rather than actually playing and getting through. But I've got through, so we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, tomorrow Dave Chisnell is waiting. That's a tough cookie.
Yeah, Dave Chisnell again. I always seem to be playing Dave Chisnell, I don't know why, but, you know, that's the way darts is. So hopefully I'll be a lot better tomorrow, and I'll be a bit more focused.
See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. James Wilson.